last Friday and the events that had happened these days. Um, I have to say that this morning I was watching quite anxious dream that I missed our lesson. But the most terrible thing that I did not warn you. I didn't text you.
Oh, I see. So I was watching kind of a worrying because you are anxious because of something. I was dreaming and it was about something disturbing or worrying,
Okay, boring.
I see. Okay, like a bad dream.
Okay.
Well, but apart from that, was the morning okay?
Yes, the morning was okay, but
My morning was horrible. I have no internet. I rushed to the office. And it was very, very busy morning, very different morning. So tell me about your good morning.
Today, good morning.
Yeah. Is it usual?
No, today my children are sleeping now, and so I had not to wake up early. So I put my ringer to 7:30 a.m. But of course, I did not wake up at 7:30. I woke up at 8 o'clock. And after that, for a second, I realized that my dream came true. But then I успела.
I managed.
I managed everything that I should do in the morning. Because I'm at home, I need not to go anywhere.
I needn't go, or I don't need to go, or I needn't go anywhere. So when we want to wake up earlier, or we have a very important meeting in the morning, what do we usually set? We set an alarm clock. Sometimes we have it on the mobile phones, right? Or we have a traditional one.
No, I don't have traditional.
I see. So, and if we talk about security in a building, so that keeps it safe. Alarm system. So we set an alarm clock for some time, yeah, and it could be an alarm system. Or you can use the word alarm, and everybody understands that you're talking about an alarm clock. Okay, right. So what I want you to do now, I want you to have a look at my slide.
Are we alone today?
I'm not sure. I didn't get anything. Maybe because I didn't have the internet. I tried to switch, so Inga didn't tell me anything. I hope she will join us. Anyway, so let's have a look. Here I have 3 sentences. And I want you to think, visualize some plans, so to say, using either future continuous or future perfect. This morning, tomorrow. This time tomorrow.
This time tomorrow,
sorry.
I will be running across the riverbank. This time next week, I will be studying English. In 4 months, it will be summer.
In 4 months, it will be summer. Yes. Think about present perfect. Well, something that you have finished, will have finished by.
In 4 months, I
Mhm.
will have finished this
Course.
education, this
Uh-huh.
course, or I
Uh-huh.
will have finished this education or studying year.
Academic
Учебный год.
year. Academic year.
Academic
So we
year.
talk about academic year.
Mhm.
I will have finished the academic. I would probably say the academic year will be over and I have finished teaching.
I will have
Because
finished
academic year,
teaching.
it's kind of a period. It's not
Mhm.
about you. I will have finished teaching. I will have finished studying. Hello, Inga.
Hello.
Inga, can you hear us? I doubt that. Can you hear us?
Да, слышу.
Good.
This side.
There is probably the problem with connection. Inga, if you try to switch off the camera, maybe it will be easier. Maybe the connect, because video requires some connection, stable connection. Oops, so she disappeared. Right. Okay. Well, yes, we can hear you, but you will have to say something all the time so we can see that, understand that you are there. Okay, we are talking about plans for the future, and I encourage Ola to think about something that she will be doing tomorrow or this time next week or in 4 months' time. So think about those things as well. And Ola, tell me about the weekend. This time on Sunday or this time on Saturday. Pick another day, any day you like.
For example,
Ola, can you think just a moment? So I listen to Inga. We'll do it in
okay.
turns, okay? So Inga, please. Inga?
Предложение, которое там, да?
Can you finish the
Наталья,
sentence?
sorry,
This time tomorrow, I'll be doing something.
This time tomorrow. This time next. This time tomorrow, I'll be meeting with the doctor.
Inga,
with my son.
I'm sorry, the connection is bad. We can't really hear you. Maybe you might. Are you on the phone?
This time tomorrow, I'll be meeting with a doctor with my son.
I'll be. What do we usually do with doctors, guys? What do we do?
I'll be seeing with the doctor with my son.
Very difficult to understand anything. Yeah, I will be seeing the
Yes,
doctor, or I'll be having you remember the word, look at the chat, appointment, like a formal meeting.
An appointment.
Yeah, an appointment with the doctor. So, Inga, one more sentence from you, please.
Еще одна?
Yes, please.
This time next week, I'll have prepared for meetings with parents from groups.
I'll have prepared for the meeting with the parents or parents meeting. Okay, Ola, what about you and the weekend?
For example, this time on Saturday, I will substituting for my colleague at the work.
At work.
At work.
Uh-huh.
And I hope that I will have finished Dr. Zhivago by the end of the week.
Uh-huh. Okay, I see. Interesting. Right. Ladies, I wanted to comment on the language items that you sent to me. But before that, I want to ask you a question. Like, think about when you read something or when you listen to something, what do you usually focus on more? I understand that we focus on both things. Like, what do you want to improve? Fluency or accuracy? Поскольку немножко вопрос методический, и у Инги плохая связь, я вот попробую переключиться.
Слышу, девочки,
Мы вас не очень слышим, потому что вы периодически пропадаете в речи, а мне нужна ваша обратная связь. Поэтому я прям 3 минуты на нашем уроке по-русски. Вот смотрите, понятно, что мы фокусируемся на всем, но на всем сразу одновременно невозможно. Поэтому вот когда-то мы потихонечку меняем акценты. Вот если мы хотим поднять качество нашей письменной или устной речи, ну, как бы в данном случае устной, да, а вот fluency – это будет фокус на чем больше? На что мы обращаем внимание, когда мы что-то берем языковое из вот текстов инпута, да, то, что вот written input or, audio input. Вот на что вы обращаете внимание? Потому что, да, я даю, вы видите, постоянно теперь буду давать задания. Обратите внимание, вы пишете 3-4 фразы. Вот мне хочется послушать вас на предмет того, на чем вы выбираете концентрироваться. Потому что фраз, ну, может быть безумный список. Мы это понимаем хорошо, да? Вот вы на чем фокусируетесь, как вы скажете?
I try to concentrate on the main idea. What is the text about?
No, it's why do you pick phrases? Почему вы выбираете фразы? Ну, вы же понимаете, да, что вы в следующем раз когда-нибудь, неизвестно когда, будете читать текст на эту тему. То есть мы же не под какую-то тему словарь подбираем, мы под себя его подбираем.
Не знаю, мне просто как бы я услышала, как бы вот фразы как бы очень интересные, я их как бы для себя отметила.
Вот тут мне хочется немножко, чтобы вы более осознанно фокусировались. Почему вот заострила на это внимание, что все последующие задания вы тоже... Я вам привела пример выборки слов, которых вам знакомо, правильно? Но которые вот немножечко добавляют такую естественность в речь. То есть вот эти фразы kind of, that kind of thing, мы их все понимаем, но мы их не употребляем. В потоке речи, когда мы что-то комментируем, они добавляют естественности. И это такой искусственный шаг, постоянно их в речь вставлять. Да? Вот. Оль, ваш выбор какой? Вы на чем концентрируетесь?
Ну, во-первых, я выбирала те фразы, вот какие-то фразовые даже словосочетания, которые для меня, ну, не были естественного употребления, то есть они для меня были новые, я даже заглядывала в словарь, чтобы проверить, правильно ли я их поняла. И плюс еще, вот если говорить о fluency, accuracy, то, наверное, не столько, ну, во-первых, естественно, лексическое значение важно, но и плюс еще правильное употребление с теми или иными там prepositions, да? Потому что можно запомнить, но не всегда правильно это поставить тот или иной предлог.
Вот смотрите, тогда получается вопрос. Если вещь новая, а очень часто я вот замечаю, что мы очень сильно концентрируемся на новой лексике, то, конечно, это шаг пойти в словарь. Сейчас я перелистну страничку. Вот, например, у нас у Оли было слово downside, да, что мне моргает? Disadvantage of a situation, и тут хорошо, the downside of leaving, the downside of the market, в контексте было the downside of the job. Если дальше пролистать, можно посмотреть, the downside может без принадлежности употребляться, the downside is, и, соответственно, там будет антоним the upside, многие словари, вот сейчас Кембридж это не выдает, но то есть вот этот момент, если мы фокусируемся на новых словах, то это хорошая история, как бы сразу проверить однокоренные, оппозиции и какие-то предлоговые вещи записать, потому что предлоговые штуки это про accuracy, да, и это про то, чтобы я вот запоминаю сразу с правильным предлогом, да. И если будем смотреть на какие-то выражения, которые вы для себя отметили, да, сейчас я вот открою на телефоне, да, так keep an eye, very good, jump to easy conclusions, jump to a conclusion, very spoken, very good in many topics. Вот это вот хороший пример того, что мы про любое, да, то есть быстро это сделать выводы, не анализируя, да, не сильно анализируя ситуацию, и можно в любом контексте эту как бы как хороший чанк употребить. Вот, поэтому у меня такая просьба, да, если вы хотите поднимать качество речи, то я напоминаю, я бы фиксировалась не только на новых и сложных вещах, потому что вот если мы опять же посмотрим на downside, да, то увидим, что это такая более сложная речь. Это причем мы знаем pluses, minuses, benefits, advantages, disadvantages. Это более сложная история, но тем не менее, хорошо, отлично. Вот, если мы посмотрим на ситуации, вот, которые взяла Инга, я вот тут немножечко бы сделала добавочку, объясню вот пример, да. У нас была фраза a daily basis, да, но мы употребляем, вы не сможете ее воткнуть без правильного предлога. To do something on a daily basis. Я бы брала сразу фразу целиком. Сейчас я выделю маркером, чтобы всем было быстрее виднее. Да. И это более такая to do something on a daily basis. Да, то есть вот именно с предлогом, потому что как этот daily basis впихнуть в речь, если вы в заметках это оставили у себя, вам нужна фраза, которая легко встроится в речь, которую вы грамотно воткнете, и она там заживет. И поэтому fluency это всегда будет про ту лексику, которую вы знаете, но которая классно собрана в фразу, которую вы хорошо понимаете, но она почти ваша. Или вот смотрите на вариант, который у вас вот был. Следующая фраза I'm not entirely sure. I'm not quite sure. Entirely is probably a bit stronger, but entirely goes after the verb, but not be sure entirely. It's very good in a negative sentence. Or if we look here, look at the dictionary, for example. Entirely. Look at this. I admit it was entirely my fault, completely my fault, after the verb, but before the noun. The company is run almost entirely by men, like completely. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I'm not completely sure. And then you pay attention and notice how to use this entirely well in context. That's why my point here is that if you want to enlarge your language, your vocabulary, you focus on new words. If you want to improve your speaking skills, try to focus on words you know, but they work nicely in context. Okay? So we move on, and I want you to think about extreme weather. Well, look at the picture. What can you see in the picture?
I can see the flood.
Okay, you know, kind of floods, probably. But if you look at the trees,
strong wind,
very strong
hurricane,
hurricane. Okay, so here I have different extreme weather conditions. So which is more dangerous and why? Which is more dangerous and why? A, B, C, D. Which one is more dangerous? Why?
For me, it's E and F. Or we need to choose only one?
No. You have to explain why you think E is dangerous or F is dangerous.
I think
E.
the water B is dangerous for animals because it's important to drink fresh water for them.
Look at the land, and so what can you see in picture B? What do we call it?
Desert, but it's not the correct.
Look at this.
Drought.
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 The weather is dry, and the the process is drought, when the weather gets really very dry and all the plants die and animals suffer. Okay. Oля.
I think that it's floods.
Floods. So in English we say flood, but very often we use the plural form with S. Floods.
As for me, floods is the most dangerous because the level of water can rise very quickly, so people have not enough time to save their life.
Look at the keyboard.
We have the word.
Look at the keyboard. You have the key on your keyboard. What?
Storm.
No, you have this. What I'm trying to say, you have this key on your keyboard.
Escape.
Yeah, escape. So sometimes the water level rises so high that people can't
escape.
Can't escape.
And the floods can bring terrible destroying of houses, buildings. Animals can't escape to the great damage it can.
Yeah, true. And so
one tornado is terrible.
Tornado. Yeah. So, and what is the difference between the hurricane and a tornado? So which one is hurricane? It's
D is hurricane.
D, and F is a
tornado.
And what is the difference? This one comes from the
sea, from
the sea, from the ocean, and this one travels across the land. It can come from the sea, but it goes very far, you know, into the middle of the continent.
In the continent, right.
It spins. Yeah, you remember the spinner? Kids play with spinners. It spins and goes in circles.
Involves different things inside.
Attracts a lot of objects, buildings,
people, maybe trees, cars.
True. Okay, and what do we call picture A, ladies? Hail. Yes, it's hail. And is it dangerous?
If you are
I think
on the street.
In the street, yeah. Or on the Americans would say on the street. Yeah. But think about gardens.
Yeah, gardens can be damaged by hail.
You remember the word harvest?
Yes.
Harvest. So these are the crops that we gather in one season. You know, we have this word crops like wheat, potatoes, tomatoes, strawberries, but harvest, it's so the amount of some crops within the season. Вот наше слово урожай, пожалуй, будет ближе к слову harvest. А crops, it's more about the plants themselves.
Harvest, какое-то некрасивое слово.
It's more formal. Yeah, so hail can damage the crops and the harvest will be very small. Yeah. Okay. So, and again, be, how do we say this? Be
Drought.
out,
Drought.
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 So, and these are
Storms.
storms, okay, snowstorms, or okay. So if we think about Saratov region or Russia at large, so which extreme weather we can experience? You remember the word experience? It can be a verb. We can experience, we can have in our region.
Storms, you would say.
In Siberia, we can experience snowstorms.
Snowstorms.
But what about Saratov region?
Saratov.
Saratov region.
Floods.
Floods.
Sometimes in winter in Saratov region, we can have experience such this.
We can have snowstorms, yeah.
Inga, do you have river next to your city,
Yes,
next to your town?
We lived next to Kyrgyz.
And what about drought? Is it a common problem? You remember the word problem? Common problem in Saratov region. Can it be a
Drought.
problem?
Maybe in the south regions, such as Kalmykia.
Maybe. Okay. Right. Ladies, please open your books at page 64. 64. Page 64. So here we have some other pictures. Can you match letters with the pictures? A, B, C, D. So A would be
Storm.
a storm. Okay. B would be
Floods.
floods. C would be
Drought.
drought. And
And
Inga, D
hurricane.
would be hurricane. Hurricane.
And
Okay. Page 64, and you see here there are letters.
Which?
Letters A, B.
Okay,
Yeah. Okay. So, what I want you to do now, I want you to listen to the news programs, to the weather reports, and can you match pictures and the news? Okay. So something has happened and Inga disappeared. Okay. So, Oля, just pictures and the news, okay?
Track 2.38. 1.
Large areas of farmland were underwater and cattle had to be moved to higher ground. Several villages were completely cut off and fire services rescued 53 people from their homes. More rain is expected.
Inga, we are on page 64. We are matching the news programs and the pictures. This A, B, C, D. We are listening to the first news. So you listen to the part of it and then do 2, 3, and 4, okay?
So river levels may rise further over the next few days, and there is a chance that larger towns will be affected.
2.
Temperatures around Boston dropped to minus 25 degrees. Drivers on the main Boston to New York highway had to abandon their vehicles, and several small towns were entirely cut off. Residents were warned not to go out unless absolutely necessary. Temperatures are likely to remain below minus 20 degrees at least until the weekend, with further heavy snow expected.
3.
March is normally one of the wettest months in the region, but this year's rainfall was the lowest ever recorded, with only 3 days of rain in some parts of the country. Emergency supplies of water were brought into areas most badly affected. According to a government statement, if the dry weather continues, the rice harvest could be severely threatened.
4.
Winds of over 150 kilometers an hour are expected to strike the coast on Tuesday evening, and residents in coastal areas have been advised to leave. Centres have been set up in towns further inland to provide food and shelter for families who were forced to abandon their homes.
Okay, so let's, well, we will check this task in a moment when Inga will have a chance to listen to it again. So let's focus on the words in task C. Have a look at the words in task C. I want you to listen to the Inga. Вам нужно из одного устройства выйти, иначе фонит. Вы на двух устройствах сейчас.
I'm sorry. Just a minute.
Okay, good. Right. Okay. Right. Have a quick look at the words. We are going to listen to them again, and I want you to take notes to focus on the verbs, noun verbs agreement, how you can explain, how you can tell me more details, okay? So look at the words. So farmland, what is that? Farmland. Any other word that we know in English? Countryside or fields, yes, because farmland is where we grow things. So look at the word cattle. What's that?
I don't know.
These are, Inga? Any ideas?
I don't remember.
Cattle.
It's about the animals, farm animals, like cows, horses, maybe. Well, we have this word in Russian as well. Крупный
рогатый скот.
This is cattle. Villages, rivers are easy, right? So who are the residents? These are local
Citizens.
Okay, look at this. What is a supply?
Delivery.
Yeah, delivery. So when something happens, you remember the word emergency. So we need like extra help, extra things. We talked about the word harvest, and here we have the rice harvest. Okay. And look at the word shelter. What's that?
Приют.
Yes. This is like some place where you can stay if something happens to your house or your home. Or sometimes, for example, we use the word animal shelter. If animals lose their masters, their owners, they are taken to animal shelters. Okay.
Track 2.38. 1.
Large areas of farmland were underwater and cattle had to be moved to higher ground. Several villages were completely cut off and fire services rescued 53 people from their homes. More rain is expected, so river levels may rise further over the next few days, and there is a chance that larger towns will be affected.
So we get the idea. Let's have a look at number 1 right now. So what do we know about the cattle, the villages, the rivers, or the farmlands? Inga, can you comment? So any details that you picked?
So there are floods. And they cut off from
the villages are...
The villages, yes, there are a lot of villages cut off from connection.
Okay.
And the high level of there is the high level of the river.
The level, yeah, What happens to the level?
And this is it will be affected.
There is a very good word. When you talk about people, you remember, and illnesses, we use the word suffer. I suffer from cold or something. But when we talk about areas, the areas are affected by extreme weather conditions. Okay, so now please, what you actually have to focus on the verbs, how to connect, how to say, how to talk about those things, those nouns. So now let's listen to number 2, 3, and 4, and after that we'll discuss them. Okay.
2.
Temperatures around Boston dropped to minus 25 degrees. Drivers on the main Boston to New York highway had to abandon their vehicles, and several small towns were entirely cut off. Residents were warned not to go out unless absolutely necessary. Temperatures are likely to remain below minus 20 degrees at least until the weekend, with further heavy snow expected.
So you put down some verbs so to comment, okay?
3.
March is normally one of the wettest months in the region, but this year's rainfall was the lowest ever recorded, with only 3 days of rain in some parts of the country. Emergency supplies of water were brought into areas most badly affected. According to a government statement, if the dry weather continues, the rice harvest could be severely threatened.
4.
Winds of over 150 kilometers an hour are expected to strike the coast on Tuesday evening, and residents in coastal areas have been advised to leave. Centres have been set up in towns further inland to provide food and shelter for families who were forced to abandon their homes.
Before we, so we heard the word abandon. What is that? What is that abandon? When people abandon their homes, they have to. No. Not the ban, but abandon. They have to leave.
Have to leave.
Yes, they have to leave. So we can, if something happens, bad happens, we abandon houses, we abandon cars, we leave them. You remember the word threat? We talked about this once. Like something dangerous is a threat. And the verb is
Threaten.
Threaten. Yes, and for example, if the harvest is threatened, so what happens? There might be no harvest. Yeah. Yeah, like the word threaten was also used once. Okay, the rest I think you know. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Boston. So which extreme weather is it about? Oля, which extreme weather?
It's about snowstorm and the low level of temperature. The temperature is around Boston is dropped to extreme minus. The Boston highway, the Boston to New York highway, people were advised to abandon their vehicles, and residents were warned to stay at home.
Okay, they were. Inga, can you say that? They.
The residents cut off from the city.
Yes, very good. So look at the word in the chat. How do we say this?
Vehicle.
Vehicles. It's like
Vehicle.
lone e. Two lone
Vehicles.
one e and lone vehicles. And what are the vehicles?
Cars,
Cars,
transports.
lorries, different kinds of transport.
They expected, yes, deliveries.
Okay, number 3, Inga, please. What about the weather condition? What is it about?
Extreme weather, there are droughts,
A
and
drought.
yes, and they are badly affected on the rice harvest, and and mm, z- mm, and
And emergency supplies, what was that about? The
and
rice
they
harvest
they waited supplies.
of
The
Of what?
emergency supplies were brought.
What kind of
to
emergency supplies? Supplies of water,
Water.
right? Of water.
Supplies, water.
Yeah. All right. So, and the last piece of news is about
hurricane.
hurricane. And so, what do we know about the wind and the residents and food?
As far as I understood, the strong wind were expected. Residents were advised to leave. To leave what? To banks? To leave
The residents were advised to leave. You remember the word coast?
coast, yeah. Coast.
And
food and shelter were provided.
And we can sell coastal area. So we can something that's very close to the sea.
Sea or ocean.
Abandoned coastal areas. Okay. Well, which situation could be more dangerous for people? All of them, yeah, are kind of bad.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, well, very often we talk about climate change. All the books, your student books that you use with your students, they are about climate change because it's a very important issue, yeah, in the world. And so what do we usually talk about? What is climate change about? Inga, what is it about? What do we usually teach? What do you usually discuss with students?
Climate change.
Why does it happen? And
why does this happen?
So look at this. What does it mean, man-made climate change? It happens because of
Because
some people say that it's a man-made thing. So who is, you remember the word to blame? Who is to blame?
people.
So man-made, so human activity can, you remember this? Cause, yes, very good. Cause climate change. Do you think it's true?
I think yes, maybe, because a lot of people are hunting on animals, for example. A lot of people used a lot of water from the rivers for farmland, to water the dachas and farmlands and so on.
Yeah.
And I think it's a disaster for us.
And look, there is another opinion. The climate does seem to be changing. Look, you see this does seem to be changing. It's a positive sentence, but we have does to add some focus, yeah, some emphasis. But it's probably just a natural process. Oля, what do you think? Is it a man-made thing or a natural process?
I think that the changes in climate is the mixture of natural process and man-made activity. Yeah, of course, we and human being involve a lot of industrial factories, farmlands, not farmland, but animal farms that cause the great damage to the rivers, oceans, to the atmosphere, and to my mind, the man-made changes plays the great role in climate change.
So it's more happens
because of man-made
activities. Inga, what do you think? Is it a combination of both, or is it more man-made?
I agree with Ola. Yes, I think it's a combination, and of course it's natural and man-made activity.
Look, here we have this person. His name is Leon, and he writes an essay about climate change. So please have a quick read of his essay. And what does he think? Is it a man-made activity or a natural process? Let me know if you're ready.
What for poor countries? What is the recipe for poor countries?
Okay, well, we'll comment on that. Okay. So what is his opinion, Inga? What does he think?
I think it's a natural process, his opinion about extreme weather, and he gives it's not certain that climate change is a result of human activity.
But still, what does he say? Oля, what does he say?
He said that it's better to prevent some climate changes and weather disaster.
Change, it's an uncountable because it's like one big thing.
Climate change. And it is far cheaper to invest to in
Mhm.
cleaner forms energy now than in some years to deal with
To wait.
to wait, yeah. So
To deal
the
with
worse
the
to deal with the worse problems in the
mhm,
future.
yes. You remember the word
Consequence, right?
consequences.
Consequence.
Consequences.
Yeah, like something that happens as a
As a result.
result. The first syllable is stressed. Consequences. So, and here is a very interesting idea that Ola commented on. Rich countries should lead the way. What is meant? What is the idea behind?
Maybe there are a lot of industries in rich countries which they match on the changing climate and so on.
Look at this. It's far cheaper, a lot cheaper to invest in cleaner forms of energy now, and rich countries should lead the way. When you lead the way, what do? Do you start or do you support?
You start
Yes.
this activity. So
You
rich
start the
countries
activity.
have enough money, have enough resources
Resources, yes,
Resources.
to invest in cleaner.
Cleaner form of energy.
They have to start first, yeah, because they have money, funding, resources. Good. Right. So this is a personal and opinion essay, but I want you to analyze the structure. So how many paragraphs are there?
Four.
Four. Paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3, paragraph 4. Paragraph 1, what do we usually call it? An
Introduction.
introduction. So what is paragraph 2 about? Have a look at paragraph 2. What is it about?
This is maybe the problem.
Many people believe the extreme weather is a part of general pattern of climate change. Is it man-made or natural?
Natural general pattern of climate change. Many people believe that actually.
Are we discussing number 2?
Yeah, number 2.
It's natural.
And look,
believe that
many
extreme is part of general
scientists
pattern. No.
warn-
So
Look at this. Many scientists warn that this is only the beginning and will certainly get worse if we don't take action. Expected they are a direct result of human activity. So this is the result.
So this is the result of human activity.
And then look at this. However, what is the meaning of however? Like
in the contrary, on
the contrary, like but, yeah, but. Not everyone
agrees that
the opposite opinion,
it.
yeah. And the final paragraph, what is it?
His personal point of
This
view.
is conclusion.
Yes, conclusion. Yeah, conclusion and his opinion. So what I want you to do now, I want you to look at the questions next to the essay. So look at number 2. Which of these sentences best summarizes? You remember that it gives the main idea, summarizes the essay. A or B? Look at number 1. Is it A or B?
A.
Yes, I agree with Ingrid.
Look at this. We write a conclusion or we
draw
a conclusion. Вот это тот пример, когда мы знаем все слова, но очень хорошая фраза. да, которые мы понимаем, как сказать, делать выводы, to draw a conclusion. Okay. What is his conclusion? Look at question 2. Is it A or B?
B.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Inga, do you agree on that?
Yes, yes, I agree.
Okay. You see, usually in introduction, can you hear me well? Is
Yes.
everything okay? Good.
Yes.
Now, I have this message that my connection is unstable. So in introduction, we sometimes have the topic, but sometimes we have views, topic and the views. So if you look at introduction, which introduction is his introduction? Look at points in 3. Is it stating the problem or is it about giving his opinion?
Stating the problem.
Stating the problem.
So there are 2 ways to write an essay. Sometimes you state the problem and add opinion, but sometimes you state the problem. So we very often talk about the paragraph 2 and paragraph 3 as body paragraphs because they're the main part.
The main part.
So look at paragraph 2. What is it about?
About man-made climate change.
Okay, about the existence of this climate change, right?
Yes.
The existence that it happens, and it happens partly because of the man-made
Human
activity.
activities.
And look at paragraph 3. It's
Arguments against.
against, and
Climate change.
which way of concluding an essay he chooses?
On balance, he tried to give.
This very good phrase, Inga. On balance, what does it mean? It's a very formal way of saying considering opinions. Yeah, like this is summarizing the points, right? And then what does he do?
He gives his own point of view.
He gives his opinion. So look at his essay. Does he sound subjective or objective? When we give opinion, we are subjective in a way, but is his paper objective?
I think it's subjective because he used own view.
Yes, of course. An opinion essay in conclusion is always about your opinion. But if we think about the body paragraphs, does he try to be objective?
Oh, no.
Look at this. Scientists predict.
Objective.
Scientists say.
So
Oля, you wanted to say?
His conclusions are based on scientists' investigations and research. So maybe he has some basic knowledge.
Research. Usually we research the problem and our conclusion is about our opinion. But to sound more objective, not very subjective, but more objective, we can add facts or some professional opinion, right? So if we add some facts, we explain what professionals think, it's not only about us, it's what we think, but what other people think. Yeah. And this is very important. If you want to write a good formal paragraph, to refer to what other people think. So what I want you to think about linkers. Look at these linking expressions, considering the views, I think, also, but. These are very simple words. In an essay, he uses more complex words. Can you match these simple linkers with more complex in his paper? Can you highlight or circle them?
However is but.
In the,
On-
well,
Considering the various arguments on balance, for example.
yes. What about I think?
I
My
think
own view.
So the first
view.
one is on balance, yeah, like considering both opinions. The second, my own view is, my own opinion is. So our students very often repeat the phrase, I think, I think, I think. This is a synonym, my own view, my own opinion. Number 3, which phrase has the meaning of also?
Furthermore.
Yes. Okay, right you up. Furthermore, ladies, and furthermore, is it formal or informal?
Formal.
Maybe formal.
Very, very formal. Very, very formal. So look at this. Any other synonyms, like less formal language for our students, for example, to use?
Also, maybe.
Yes, also is like A1. But when we
Yes.
start teaching A2 plus B1, we teach the phrase, look at the chat.
Moreover.
Moreover, or what's more. Yeah, like what's more, you add ideas. Like also, what is more, or moreover. Furthermore is more complex for a complex paper at B2 level. Yeah. And the last would be
However.
However. And look, that furthermore, however, and on balance, what do we have after these phrases?
Will it be please?
Comma.
I don't know. Comma.
It's a comma. Okay. Comma. Oh, well, okay, like just no, my comma. Right. So now let's think about the paper from the point of view of the verbs. What kind of verbs we can say instead of think? So look at the paragraphs. Can you highlight the verbs? For example, the first sentence, where is the verb?
Complained. Have complained.
Complain. So
Have
in the next one, many people.
Believe.
Okay, and here we have
Are
worried. And then we have believe. So not to repeat all the time. People think, I think, people think. So have a look at some more examples. So what about scientists?
Predicted.
Predicted.
What else?
Expected. Agree.
You remember the word expected.
Agree.
When we expect, what do? It's a formal way of
We
saying
wait.
wait. Yes. Look at this. Scientists
Also warn.
warn. When you warn, do you say to do something or not to do?
Not.
Inga, we're talking about this one. Many scientists warn to do something or not to do. What is a warning?
We worry about something.
No, when, for example, you warn, it can be dangerous. And when there is a warning sign, don't touch.
You recommend. Yeah.
It's stronger.
Advise.
It's stronger not to do. What is the Russian variant would be?
Предупреждать.
Предостерегать, да. Predict, предсказывать, предупреждать, предостерегать. Okay, right. So if we look at paragraph 3, people
agrees. No, some people point out.
Yeah, when you point out, what do you do?
Notice maybe.
Yes, you kind of say, you specify it. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Say we know, yes. Mhm. Anything, any other phrases? Uh-huh.
In number 3 or 4?
Well, something that have the meaning like think.
They
Mhm.
Find out.
Well, find out is probably learn. It's not think, but it's a very good word. Yes, I agree. So what I want you to look now at, look at the task, find more expressions with think. Well, we have 2 phrases of think, reporting other people 4 phrases, and how people feel 1 phrase. So if you look at these phrases that we highlighted, can we match with phrases of think? What about think? Which phrases are very close to think?
Believe and agree.
Okay. So scientists, well, if it's about scientists, the first was
One.
warned, yes, but or scientists
Predicted.
yeah. So then report what other people say or think, and then here we had people believed, what else?
Believe
and так, что у нас еще? Point out.
point
And
Report how. Тут 4. Agree. Нет, это scientist believe. Complain.
yes, and agrees. Everyone agrees. Yes, you're right. Everyone agrees, and people point out. And when we talk about feelings, people, very, very first paragraph.
Worried about.
People are worried. Yeah,
They
people are
worried
worried. Okay, and so which phrases do you use very often, quite regularly?
Worried about. However.
Okay.
Think. Agree.
Think, believe, agree, yes.
Right. So, what do you think? Well, this guy, Leon, he says that people should invest. When you invest, what do you do?
Give money.
You invest money. Put money into something, into cleaner forms of energy. Do you think it's a good idea?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course, it's a good idea.
Is it expensive?
Yeah, I think yeah. I don't know the numbers, but I guess it is a huge
It is
amount of money.
It's a lot of money, yeah. So, well, I want you to talk about, to think about like serious matters, and the task that I want you to think of right now is look at my question on top. So, well, look at those things. What are those?
There are different
Recycling.
Recycling bins, yeah, recycling bins. So, and what do? We sort out rubbish. So look at this question. Does recycling rubbish make any difference? What do you think? So it's difficult to talk about investment and money and the governments because we can't know much about it. But let's think about daily life. Recycling rubbish, does it make any difference? What does this make any difference? Can you paraphrase it?
Can put cat can
change
can change the way of our life.
Yeah, change the situation.
Ecological environment.
Environment can change can be good for
Can
an
improve,
environment.
yeah. Can
Yes,
improve.
absolutely, absolutely.
Or maybe can stop becoming the environment worse. It cannot improve. We can't improve our environment. We
You
can
remember this?
only ecological.
What do we leave?
Сегодня было, да?
No, it was some time ago. Like it's something with footprint. Who remembers?
Carbon footprint.
Carbon footprint. So recycling also helps to minimize our carbon footprint. Yeah, you remember we talked about that? Okay, and so why? How can it help? So when we recycle or we promote, you remember there is a word, you can do it yourself and you can promote it to your students, to your children, to your friends and family. When you promote, what do you do?
We
do make it popular.
Yes, we make it popular. I like the way you say that. Okay, yes, Inga, very, very true. So why it can make some difference at least? Maybe not a lot, but some.
To clean maybe ecological, to clean environmental area.
To clean the environment around us, okay.
Around it, yes.
So when we sort the rubbish, we can recycle some of them, we can reuse some of them.
Because it's uncountable, yeah.
Yes, we can reuse it. And I know that, for example, in some countries, some rich countries like Japan, people build man-made islands from the rubbish. Yes,
yeah,
they have built airports and some different areas from the rubbish. And of course, we can decrease the huge amount of мусорки, rubbish areas.
Okay, so have a look. I have it for you.
Polygons, landfill waste.
So here we can reduce landfill waste because those are huge areas with lots of waste. Waste is something we don't need.
We don't need, yeah.
Yeah, we don't need. And you remember the word litter? We talked about that. And rubbish. Which one is on the street? Like packaging or bottle? Litter. They are called litter beans. So beans. This is kind of мусор, который на улице валяется, бросили. This is litter. Rubbish, it could be organic. It's something that we have at home. Well, after cooking or cleaning, we have rubbish. So Oля has mentioned the fact that we can recycle some materials and use them again, so we can save natural resources. We don't waste them. We don't produce more. So when we recycle, recycling is
save energy.
We save energy because it's easier and quicker than to produce something new. Inga has mentioned
prevent pollution.
Preventing pollutions. These are verbs, yeah, preventing pollutions. And you remember we talked about that sustainable development. When we talk about lifestyles or industries which are sustainable, they don't waste a lot of money or energy. This is a very good word. It's B2 level word, like sustainable development. We can encourage it, we can promote it. So like energy saving lamps, or some eco-friendly technologies. So they encourage sustainable development. So
Mhm.
when we become better, technologically better, but we don't pollute the environment. And what do we do in our dachas? When we compost,
we make compost.
organic waste. Yeah, waste can be different. It can be organic waste. And so different gases, we reduce our carbon
Footprint.
Carbon footprint.
Okay, so now we have 15 minutes to write a paragraph, a formal paragraph, not an essay, a paragraph about recycling. Yes or no? You can choose any position you like. I want you to use some formal language from page 64. People believe, scientists warn. And here I have some ideas for you to use. So ideally, I want you to write in the chat so we can enjoy the paragraphs. So on your mobile phones or on your computers, if you have Telegram on the computer.
Mhm.
Okay, so yeah, I want you a paragraph which consists, you don't have to use all the ideas, it's impossible. So you can use 3, 4 ideas and make up a formal paragraph for or maybe against. So it's your choice.
Mhm. Okay.
Good. And I think carbon footprint is good. It's not on the slide, but I think it's really good to use. Ladies, are you finishing?
One minute, please.
In chat, yes, Natalia?
I'm just looking. Let me have a quick
Uh-huh.
read and I'll comment on that. This is, well, look at this pollution. What do we do with pollution?
Prevent?
Well, your first sentence.
The first sentence?
What we don't do pollution. We cause pollution or create maybe.
And
Cause,
creation? Pollution.
well, we don't. I would probably say,
creating.
you see, many people complained about rubbish in many cities and pollution. Rubbish and pollution. Согласование будет. То есть без глагола, и будет тогда прям хорошо. Look at the sentence. Well, what about carbon footprint? Is it countable or uncountable?
Так, сейчас минуточку найду. Minimize. Let's minimize carbon footprint. I think it's uncountable.
Uncountable, so we don't need an article here, like carbon footprint in general. And вот эта вот структура, try, well, probably stop the recording, so if you want to, and then I'll keep commenting. Okay.